Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Maria from Under the Night Moon, and I'm here today to do a craft with me video for my Etsy shop, and also just I have been asked to do craft with me's, also show my desk area, how I work, how I put together some of my books. And so today I am turning on the camera. I have it finally situated above my desk, and you can see all kinds of things I have around me that I work with. So I have a glue gun, I have my buckets of jewels right here, I have a pin cushion, I have a giant bucket of laces and trims and things. And today I'm working with some digital kits from the PixieDustFiles, and I have mainly printed out the Purple Passion Junk Journal kit, and I will link it below. I have used it before also, and you can see some of the items here. This gorgeous paper. And then I did fussy cut out a ton of the elements and then a few elements from my stash to make this cute little book. I absolutely adore this book. I love the size. This is the cover that she provides in the kit. I did slightly shrink it a little because I just love this little pocket size. Plus it's also very easy to work with. So I thought I would put this together today and show you more or less you know, how I've learned how to make these books. But I do have to tell you, the style I'm going to show you today I actually learned from Ruby and Pearl, and it's the open spine method. So I will put a link to that video down below. And also too, I have a picture from a vintage magazine that had a botanical folder just in the photo shoot, and it was the same style book. So this is something that I've always just really loved, and I'm grateful to have figured out, especially with the help of Heather over at Ruby and Pearl, and then also just, you know, tinkering around here on my desk. You know, you learn stuff as you go. So basically all I've done was printed the covers, attached them to some recycled cardboard or chipboard. A lot of times I will use cereal box, just any type of recycled chipboard or bookboard or a recycled book. It really just depends on whatever I have, but I do use all of those things together, and it's really anything that has some nice you know, sturdy weight to it. I do like to stitch around, and I've done that already. I have my sewing machine right here to my right, but I went ahead and stitched already. And then I also like to round the corners on everything. I do use the We Are Memory Keepers corner rounder, and so I also do the pages as well. Now this little book, I've already made one so far, and you can see that video on my channel of the finished version, but because it's so cute and I love it so much, I printed everything so I could make it again. And so I just took the pages that she gives you, PixieDustFiles from the kit, and I cut them down to size. I did print a few extra pages in my stash just to make it more interesting. I did add a piece of this really beautiful vintage wallpaper. Everything's been printed double-sided. And then I added some vintage ledger, and here's a printable from the Purple Passion kit. So pretty. She does so much work for you. All you have to do is print. And then for this little book, another reason why I love it so much is I just sewed right down the center of the pages. It's not even straight, but to me, you know, when you're making handmade items, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I will show you here. Once we attach it to the covers, you can see how the pages are just fine. So yeah. Okay, so let me show you how we're going to bind this together. So you have your covers. Make sure that you know which is which. I used this gorgeous purple paper that she gives you for the inside, and then I used the covers that she gives you for the back. And then what we're going to do is use this really beautiful, I took everything out ahead of time so I would have it all ready to go. I do misplace things all the time, so hopefully that won't happen today, but if it does, sorry in advance. So here is this gorgeous, gorgeous velvet ribbon that I got. I don't even remember. I think I got this off of eBay years ago. And we're going to use that to bind it together. But actually, before we do that, I do want to do the composition of the cover first. And I think this purple is so fun. It sort of lends itself to me as, like, you know, French, sassy kind of from the I don't know what era, maybe the 30s. So yeah, I chose this beauty for the cover. So she's gonna sit in a little pocket right here. And then there are some things that I've chosen to use for the cover. I have the scissors I use for everything are the Tim Holtz, and I have all 3 pairs. These are the only scissors I use, unless I need my pinking shears. And I will use those for the velvet, and I'll show you those real quick. These are the pinking shears. So, these Tim Holtz scissors just take care of everything for you. So I've chosen this really cool piece of lace. Now this is what I did on the first little book. I used this for the pocket, and it's so fun. The other thing is I don't want to cover up this typography right here. So what I'm going to do is choose between this really pretty piece of lace, which I'm sort of leaning towards, because this one I've already used, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So the reason why I'm doing this first is so that I know if I'm going to put my velvet on top or if it's going to go over. And my velvet is going to go over this really pretty piece of lace. Now when I do pockets, I always put a few pieces of card together so that whoever owns this book, if they want to add more things, they will have room to do that. The main glue I use is hot glue. I use Fabri-Tac. I use glossy accents, and I do have some collage medium and some gesso and some other glues for, you know, all the different projects. But for this we're going to use hot glue, and the main reason I like hot glue is that it just it's just quick. I like to work quick. And do I get burnt? Sometimes, but I think once you work with it enough, you you know, you kind of figure it out as you go. Not saying I don't get burnt, I do, and I don't love it, but for the most part, it hasn't steered me from not using it. Let's put it that way. And I do have a little, I don't know what you call these, little silicone thingies, so that you can do this sort of thing. And I will use that sometimes if, sometimes I work with the metals, and metals get really hot. Okay, so I'm putting these in here before I close up the little pocket here. And I hope I'm making sense so far to you all. And I do like to press the cut edge into the glue so that it seals the fabric. And then if there's anything hanging, you know, I'll give that a trim. But there we go. There's our cover pocket. So cute. And again, we're going to put this in here so we always have our image that we're working with. I am going to use my my Tim Holtz, and the color that I use is Walnut Stain, and I've had this forever. I don't use a lot, it's just ever so gentle to take off the sharpness of the paper. And then quickly, on the inside of this book, I thought it would be really pretty just to do a belly band like this. And then I also cut some pom-pom trim because I did find a color that I thought would go really fun with this book. And it's this color here. And so we'll see how that matches. And if that's something that I like, which I do. So I'm going to attach that as well. Now with pom-pom trim, I have to say, I almost usually like to cover it. I don't love like a raw edge. For me, I like everything to be decorated and covered. So there are different things we can use to cover this as we go. But right now we're just more or less building our design on how we want things to look. And you can see, hopefully you can see, I love this pom-pom trim, it's so fun. And then we put our sassy little lady in there, and just like that we have the cute little cover. And then when it comes to this also, we're going to be able to know how much to use as we go. So we're doing the covers. On the inside, this kit, she gives you so much ephemera to work with. Now I did use one of her other kits. It's called Floral Junk Journal Kit, but it's also florals. It's so beautiful, and it's just these rich, beautiful colors. And I thought that went really well with this collection as well. So because we have this open seam here, I might do a pocket. Now I just kind of changed direction, but you know, that's how I work anyway. I work very, very organic. I very rarely plan anything. Now with velvet, I always use pinking shears. Always, always, always. And I think, look how beautiful this would look as a pocket on the inside. So I think that's what we're gonna do. And what would be really fun is I could even loop this around the whole binding and use this as our binding. But because this is vintage and I don't have a ton of it, I'm gonna just stick to what I absolutely, you know, need. And I'm gonna cut right about here. I don't measure, I just eyeball everything. I do have, you know, this Tim Holtz Media Mat is, you know, pretty epic in terms of tools, and I use it all the time. I will work on tags. When I glue things down, I will always take my piece and measure it up to one of the lines so that I know I'm working straight. This is a must, I think, for any crafter to have in their stash. But real quick, you can see how cute our pocket looks, and you see how finished this looks. I like the finished edges. But back to our cover, and I'm not going to glue this down yet because I kind of want to do the binding first, but because we're building, I know already that that's going to go inside there. So now what I'm going to do is put that to the side and then get our back cover and kind of figure out what we're going to do for the back cover. And you know, maybe we'll do the belly band for the back cover, since we don't have, I don't think I'm going to put anything here. So that's not something we have to do right now. Okay, so now we're going to do the binding, and we're going to get our pages. Now, because my books are always, and real quick, I like to leave some of the threads. For me, that's just, I don't know, I love it. It's sort of unfinished and shabby, and so that's what I like. I'm going to use some of this cool purple ribbon that I have for the binding, and it's very simple, but what I was saying is my books kind of go towards the chunky side once I fill it up. This can sometimes get a little tricky because right here you can see it's not really much, but once I fill it up it's probably going to be about here. Maybe more. So we always take that into consideration, especially if I'm doing the open spine. So what I'm doing, and here I can show you how we're going to use the media mat. See how I'm going to line that right up into a corner. We're going to take our pages and place those where we want, making sure that they are right up against the edge here. And the good thing about this system is you can always tighten it as you go. It's very forgiving, which is another reason why I like it, because I am not a perfect crafter by any stretch. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to get a new piece of velvet, and you can see the flower pattern on here, I think. I know it's kind of dark. So right away I kind of want to use that flower, and all I'm gonna do is eyeball. And listen, once you've made a couple of these, you definitely get a sense of how much you need. So I'm wrapping it around. You see how I did that? I'm wrapping it around, but I'm giving myself some play in here for when I do fill up my pages. Now, I usually don't go past about an inch, meaning the length of this ribbon here. Now I could bring it all the way across. I could do, you know, many different things, but I kind of like to just do 2 little hinges, and that's that. And that way your eye focuses on the beauty of the papers and the other things that you have going on in the book. So that's how we're going to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, although I do notice this is a little crooked, so I'm going to just give that a quick trim using my pinking shears. And again, this is a must-have if you work with fabrics or ribbons, mainly because when you cut the zigzag pattern, there's less fraying involved. You will get some fraying, but it definitely keeps the fabric from fraying. And we're going to go back here, we're going to make sure everything's straight, and making sure our pages are all the way up against the back. Put our cover on. Again, like I said, once you do a couple of these, you definitely get a feel for it, and it becomes very easy. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a good amount of glue, not too much. Now there are some times I will use the Fabri-Tac, And there are sometimes I will use the glossy accents. It depends on the materials I'm working with. So if I'm doing a wallpaper book, I will use the glossy accents. If I am doing a now real quick before I tell you about that, I'm gonna leave this sort of loose. I don't know if you can see here. So I'm gonna bring this over, but I'm gonna leave a little room in here so that way once we bulk up, the book is gonna lift up like this. You see that? Now I could also just leave this open, work on all the pages, and then bind it at the very end. And totally do that. But because this is my first craft with me video, you know, that this could be, I don't want this to be like, you know, 2 hours long. You know. Okay, so there we have the first hinge. Now for this book, like I was saying, I don't want to cover up this typography, so I'm only going to use a little piece, and I'm going to keep the flower out of it. That way we focus more on the design of the bottom part. And there's a nice little piece right there. And this is what I did for the first book, so I kind of already knew ahead of time that I was gonna kind of do it this way. So I just press that down firmly, and sometimes I'll just hold my hand on it so that the glue gets into the fabric. That's just a little trick I learned. And that's also a trick for stamping. Whenever I do a stamp, I always hold it for a few seconds. That way the ink has a chance to get into the fabric of the paper. Alright, and now again, the same thing. I'm just kind of eyeballing the same amount of space there, so that you know, I have even distribution of the book. And now I'm just gonna eyeball. Like I said, I don't do everything perfect ever. The good news is if I do this crooked, which it is a little bit, you know, I can just go in and fix it. I think this mixed media textiles is very, very forgiving, especially if you're you know, in the shabby sort of style, I guess, right? It can work to your advantage. Now it's not sloppy. There's difference between shabby and sloppy. But so you can see, there we go. We have two sweet little hinges, and I've left some room in there. And now we're gonna just glue. I don't use a ton of glue. You can always go back and glue more. Here I'm just kind of doing a little check, making sure they're about the same before I press down. And you can always go back and glue more, like I'm doing now. That's another way of keeping yourself from getting burned, is to just not go too crazy with the glue. Now I went to a Christmas party for my work, so my nails are painted, but I usually don't work with painted nails because sometimes you can the color will get onto your work. But there you go. So you see how easy that was, and look how cute. We have this sassy little purple book going. This is why I just love this book. So much fun. Okay, now we're gonna take our purple ribbon. This is just I don't know if this is 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch maybe. When I do the binding for these books, it depends. If it's a giant book, I'll use a thicker ribbon. smaller books, I'll use a thinner ribbon. So that's why I chose this one, is just right for this little book here. And so we're going to open it up. We're going to open our pages to the very center of the signature. And this is just one signature book here. So what we're going to do is place it in the center like this. We're going to take our ribbon, and because it's going to wrap around the book, I'm just going to kind of eyeball. And you saw I cut myself a pretty good size length of this ribbon here. So I strung it through, right through the center of the signature, and that's where the stitching is. Or if you did the pamphlet stitch, that's where that would be, okay? And we're gonna put it right in the center, and then I'm gonna bring the bottom ribbon up to the top. Well, this is what I do, right? And you're just gonna pull, the pages pretty taut, just to the very top here. So you've wrapped it around your hinges, and you're pulling the pages all the way over, and then you're just gonna tie it. That's it, it's so easy. And you're gonna pull the bottom to the top, right? And you can kind of pick it up so you can see. However you need to do it, you're just gonna hold it nice and tight until you get that first knot. And I wouldn't use a ribbon or a thread that slides. You know the kind. I would get something that holds pretty well. And there's our first tie. Now for this book, I'm going to do a pretty little bow. I can always add more bows. I can double knot this if I want, which I think I am. And you can cut it short. You can leave it long. You can make long tails. I mean, it's endless. These are all little design elements that you can do if you choose to do this sort of pattern or this style book. Me, I did a double knot. I'm just gonna cut it kind of short because I don't want to take away from the cover design too much. I just want to have a little something something there so that you know, okay, that's, you know, sometimes I will leave, and you guys have seen enough of my books. It's just sort of a feeling. The design will kind of lend itself to which way you want to go in terms of ribbon. But for me, for this one, especially because it's a little book too, I just think a little bow is perfect. Now there is another step that I do, and what that is, okay, well sometimes I will thread through here another little bow, and maybe I'll do it down here at the bottom, and that's just giving extra stability to the binding to make sure those pages don't go anywhere. So we tie a knot, and then we're gonna just do a bow, and if it will let me, a double bow, and it will. So now we've got it tied pretty securely to the top and the bottom. Plus we have two totally cute little bows holding this book into place. And let me just get a piece of white paper here so you can see the finished product. And hopefully I'm holding everything right. Hopefully you can see everything okay here too. Yeah, so there we go. How cute is that, right? Now, we can have some fun just quickly decorating, and you can kind of see the inside of the book now. And so once you have this tied together, and let me just go back through here and just show you, right? So once you have it tied together, you can go through and kind of fold your pages, make sure they all lay flat. go through, make sure you like the way everything looks. Everything is nice and secure. These pages are perfect. And they have a lot of room for storage, adding things. Look how pretty. This journal kit is so pretty. You can reinforce. You can add a little bit of washi tape in there if you think maybe some of your papers aren't gonna, like this one has a little tear, but I'm going to fix that and I'll show you how once we get to that. I kind of want to get this book decorated in this one video so that I have at least one finished product here. So now we can start decorating. Now is the fun part. We have our sassy lady for the cover, and she'll get more decorations as we go, but we kind of just want to get the basic idea and design down for the book. So what do I have for my pocket? I think I used it. Okay, so now we've got all of our ephemera here. We've got tons of things to work with. I think I used my pocket for the binding. That's okay. I have a whole roll of this this trim here. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a trim. Now this trim has some decorative element that's gonna help me kind of keep it straight. If there's a little trick like that, I will use it. I really don't measure anything ever. But I will take some tags that I know I'm gonna put in this pocket and just kind of eyeball, like I said before. That way you know you've got room for more in there. So I went ahead and glued the bottom, and I might just take a few more things just to bulk this up before I glue. That way I know this pocket will have the space. So if I glued this down flat without putting things in there, then you might not be able to fit it all once you glue this in. So this is just a surefire way of making sure you've got room for all of your ephemera pieces. And we do. So there we go. There's our little pocket there. And let's just go ahead and keep these in there. Not sure what we're gonna put in there. Like I said, I have a whole bunch of things pulled out for this book. Oh, and she does give you a journal with me card, or this journal belongs to. Sorry, I got that confused. But it's a little too wide to put in here, and I don't really want to trim it down. We might, but I don't think so. So what we can do is paper clip it. We can do all kinds of things. But I want to get some more textiles going. I want to just use some of the things that I pulled. Now this is this gorgeous piece of gold lace, and this actually was gifted to me by Debrina in the Happy Mail, and I love it. I just made a whole book cover using this, which you guys will see coming up probably tomorrow. But I just think this is going to go really well, and I really just want to use a little tiny piece of it because less is more when it comes to gold. And I just love having this little piece, and what we can do with that we just don't know, but we're going to get some things ready. I also love using these little sassy things. I don't know what these are. Super fun trim. I got this at Hobby Lobby. They're just really fun. So I'm gonna cut one of these off for my lady. And what else are we gonna use? We have more of this lace we can use, which that might be pretty to use on the back page. Here is another piece for another pocket, and I think we will do that because I love the way that looks. And what we're gonna just glue that right down. For me, as soon as I know I love it, as soon as it works in my eye, my opinion, like as soon as I put it down and I know I like it, I glue it. I don't waste any time like fussing and, you know, trying to make sure everything is perfect. And I mean, I don't think that's wrong to do at all. It's just not me. For me, as soon as I like it, it's done. And then I kind of work from there. Now there are times when I will undo stuff if maybe I did something and then I realize afterwards, oh Maria, what were you thinking, and take that apart. I do, of course, but I try to just trust, you know, my instinct. And you know, so far that's just what works for me. I do have coffee. Ooh, so forgive me there, because I almost always have coffee going. And so let's see how we're gonna, because I like the finished thing going on there, I know coming up I'm gonna need something to go right there. This I love right here, this little bow, so we're going to attach that. And this is just a little seam binding, a little lavender seam binding. And then what do we have from the kit that we can use? We have this gorgeous ballerina. We have this fun little bowl of these raspberries, this gorgeous piece of it's just a really neat botanical, but it's got some great typography in it. It's what I love about her work, is that it's very, very detailed. She gives you a ton of images in her work to use. Right away, I know pretty sure I'm gonna put this perfume label up here. And I always give just a real quick light, just sort of like a dusting of the walnut stain to just take the sharp edge off the papers. And there we go. Let's put our tag in there. Now we're going to move along to this page here. This is another little element that she had in her kit. And I took my little punch. I have this paper punch, and I punched out this cute little thingy. And I think this would be a pretty little tab that we could use, also like a little tuck. And before I glue things down too, I will make sure that it looks okay on the other side. I don't love the way that looks, so we're not going to do that. But I also want to use these tags that she included, and I love these. To me, this just has so much personality and so much it's just so cool. I don't know how to explain it right now. And I really like the way it looks on here. Now I will round the corners. I do like to round the corners and just do a real light, take the edge off, and then I use paper clips. I like gold paper clips if I can find them. And then whoever owns the book can have the fun of, you know, writing on there, journaling on the other side. It also gives you a place to put something on the other side, which is probably not going to be her because she needs her own page. But I do think another little tag here would be pretty. And these have a lot of purples and deep greens in them, these florals. So that's why I chose them for this book here. The writing paper we're going to just leave as writing paper. We have this super beautiful botanical. I think I got that off of Pinterest, and I just loved the pattern. Kind of looked like wallpaper. So we're going to decorate the other side of this. And we could use our little element here. And I really like the way that looks right here. It kind of brightens up the page. Sometimes I will edge things in gold, but for the sake of this video, I'm probably not. Now this I'm only going to glue because I have the pom-pom here. So I kind of have to be careful how I glue. I also want it to be a tuck, so I can't glue too much there, right? So we're just going to do one little strip of glue across the bottom, making sure that we don't glue the pages. And see, we want to make sure that it's clear of the pom-poms there and that it lays nice and flat. And it does. Now I didn't check the other side of the paper there, but I think that's okay. Now I also have on my desk just a huge bucket of all kinds of just stuff. Scraps, teacups, I mean, there's everything in here. Always a Marie, which, ooh, we might have to add her. Yeah, so when I need to find things to add to the book, I go to this little bucket here, and you can see it's packed. And I have more than one of those. I'm gonna just come right out and confess. I have more. I also pulled out this cute little wallpaper here. It's just a little floral. But I think for the owner of the book it'll be fun to use. Now this paper clip I'm going to put to the side, I think. That way these pages lay flat. That's better. Yeah, so we're going to put that in there. Maybe we'll put Marie in there. Yeah, look how cute. And she looks really, really cool next to this beautiful vintage wallpaper here. So we're gonna leave that. And then the kit comes with all of these really fun words. So wonderful, cherish, beautiful, create, magical, gratitude, amazing, dreams, inspire, wishes. Which one should we use for our Marie Antoinette? Which one? So the Tim Holtz scissors, I love these big ones because they just cut so nice. And I just love these scissors so much. Just best investment ever for scissors. And I have a ton of scissors, but these, you can go straight across the bottom of things and not ever have to worry about you know, things straight or not. They just do all the work for you. Okay, so I chose dreams, and I don't know if that's gonna stay there, but we're gonna leave it for now. And what else do we have to put in here? Also too, when we're designing, I always like to just do, you know, top to bottom of the page. And I like to use labels, and this little label has some purple in it. It's also got some taupe, which is the same color as the wallpaper. And you can't really read what it says. I don't really know what it says, but I just think along the top of the page there, I just think that looks kind of cool. So we're gonna add that, a little bit of glue. And then, not quite sure about any of that, so there we go. Moving right along. Ooh, Marie could look kind of fun down here. We also have this teacup. We have this beautiful ballerina lady. Now she would make a really great pocket for here because this wallpaper is so fragile. I do like to add things to it for stability, but I don't know if a pocket, because you don't want to add too much like usage. Does that make sense? Like, you don't want to be going in and out of a pocket because this might break. So we'll leave that for now. I do have some fun laces and things. Oh, you know what I have? And this is from my mom's studio. I'm going to show you guys. Because she had a doll factory, and one of her dolls was called the Merry Widow. And I think it was from an opera. I don't remember exactly, but this giant spool of black lace. And I don't use black a lot, but working with this purple, because I think purple and black go so well together. It's kind of fun to have this black on hand. So that might be fun to add a piece of black to this book. So we'll pull that out. I also have some really pretty textile here we might use. What else do we have? We have some fun sari trim we can use, which I love this sari. So pretty. I kind of like the way that looks on this page here. So you can kind of see I don't really think too much about my designing. I just go with the flow. Sometimes I'll pull a whole bunch of stuff, and sometimes, you know, I just have fun and I don't think about it too much. If I think about it too much, then chances are I probably, you know, wouldn't get anything done. I'm going to add another one of these beautiful tags. Just a light touch. And I think this is where I liked it. But the good news about that paper is I have 2 pages of it. And all of these pages I printed double-sided so that the owner has nothing blank. I don't love a blank page. Now this would be cool to kind of put off the edge here, because it's still within the back cover, right? So it's not hanging off, but it gives you a bigger size to put things in, and we can tuck in our "this journal belongs to" there. So let's start that. So you can see how I build as I go, right? So while we're thinking of that, we're going to think about something off the bottom here that would look really pretty. And I have a ton of lace and crochet pieces. I've got tassels hanging out. I've got all kinds of fun stuff. But I think lace on the bottom here would look really pretty. And I have in front of my desk here, which you can't really see, but this goes back, and then I have a big wall in front of my, it's pegboard, and it actually holds just buckets of stuff. There's really no other way to describe it. It's just buckets of stuff. So I chose this pretty little ruffle here, just kind of accentuating the beautiful design we have here. And I love, love, love to have many layers of things. Layers hanging down. I just love the look of layers. So for this, we're gonna glue here, and we're gonna glue here, and we're gonna place this down. And there you see, I just got the glue, got my side of my finger there. Now I cook for a living, so to me this isn't really a burn. But anyway, you see how that looks? So pretty. I love the way that looks. And then we can add a little one of these. We can add another little bow. Oh, I like the way that looks. I like to layer as I go. So there you go. There we have a super fun little page, and it looks good on the other side. And you see how our book is just coming along. I don't know if you can see. And this is what I like. I like all the layers hanging down. I like it to look interesting along the side here. Yeah, I don't know how long this has been going for. So I don't know if we'll finish the whole thing, but so far you kind of have a good idea of how I work. And yeah, this kit is so pretty, and like I said, it's already done for you. Everything is already done. It's so easy. You have all these really cool elements here. Now the glue, and this happens sometimes, the glue pushed over my pocket a little, so I'm gonna have to take a little off the side, and for that I use this little baby, it's a Fiskars. I've had it forever, and it's just a little baby paper cutter, and what I like about it is little. You see here, it's only 5 inches by maybe 6 or 7, and it's very lightweight, and you can use it to just take off, you know, little tiny pieces like that, which, you know, I can kind of cut straight with Tim's big scissors, but these, look, this little trimmer really helps. Yeah, so that's another little tip. I hope this is fun for you. Let me know in the comments if you're enjoying this video or not. Like I said, I've never done this before, ever, and it's fun. You know, it's fun. I don't know if this is something that I'll do more of, maybe. If you want more of these, let me know. Now, what I'm doing on the other side of the page here is, because I have this here hanging and I like to have all my edges covered, I'm going to use this and kind of cover it up. Plus, I think that looks so pretty, and she gives you all of these that you need. And we're just going to do a little L shape of glue, and then just cover up that so that it has a nice finish to it. And the good news on that is you've got a tuck spot here and a tuck spot here. And I have lots of these beautiful florals to add. And I went ahead and cut some other things too. I have this beautiful floral. I might add that in there. I like to give a lot of papers to my books just to make sure whoever owns it has a lot of things to play with. And I think we'll do another word. Let's choose another word in here. Let's do inspire. Maybe this video will inspire you guys to, you know, try the open spine technique and have some fun with it. It didn't take me that long to kind of figure things out. It really was, it went pretty quickly. Now to my right, I have, I keep all of my printables sort of, and I'm looking for butterflies because this was something I should have pulled out before we started. And I have tons of butterflies. Like I have this one here, but her shop, she has a butterfly digital that is amazing. And that's sort of what I'm looking for right now. Ooh. And then I have my favorite teacups. And I just realized we have a purple and a green. And I think both of those colors go well with this book. So we're gonna do that. And then really it's just, you know, whatever else I kind of think will go well with this collection. You know, and that's just how I work. And I have so many digitals that it can be not tricky finding the right ones, but like right now I'm searching and searching. Ooh, I also have these fans. I love to add the fans. So that's it. That's how we do it. We just keep pulling things out that you think will go and cut them all out, fussy cut them, put them out on your desk, and then you just have fun arranging. That's the best part of journaling and the creative process. It's really just, you know, if you love it and it makes you happy and it feels right. Like I just saw this beautiful reprint of a painting and I thought this would go so well with our wallpaper. But then I always think, okay, well this could be something that she had maybe in her dressing room. So for me, it's like the feeling of the book. Does that make sense? Like when I choose the cover and the theme of the book, I do try to just keep it all within a theme. This one's obviously vintage Paris. You know, kind of bohemian with the color palette and the sparkly, and sometimes I go real Victorian or real Marie Antoinette, but this one's more bohemian, kind of sassy 1930s, 20s, 30s. So because of the tear right here, we could put, but I don't want to cover up these sweet little flowers here, so I'm not quite sure what we're gonna do. We could make an underneath tuck. That could be fun. I don't do those a lot. I could. I don't know why I don't. But we could tuck things under this way. I just don't know yet, but I do know that I love this little piece of ephemera for this book. So let's just paper clip it for now. That way we've got that done. So you can see how quick, if you know, if I'm inspired, these things kind of go more or less quick. Now my bigger books, definitely not, because those books are continual. Like I'll work on it today and I'll go back on it, you know, in a few days and, you know, find, you know, 20 more things to add to it. It's a continual process. And it could be for this as well. I'm just fussy cutting this little fan out here. you know, I almost always the next day will see so many new things to add for my books. And I've learned, oh, excuse me, I've learned through having my Etsy shop that I definitely have learned to, see, I'm taking this off. I have definitely learned to put things away, go back to it the next day, because I will always see it in a new light the next day. And I love that. It's just like it was like a wise person stepped into my studio and said, Maria, put everything down and come back tomorrow. And as soon as I realized to do that, that's when everything just changed, and I was able to really connect and I don't know if that makes sense, but like bring my work to another level. Yeah, I don't think that makes much sense. If it does, let me know. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying in terms of just stopping, taking a break, and coming back to it the next day. Okay, so I changed that a little bit there. You can kind of see I added that fun little fan, and then I put our fancy little thing here. Here's another reason why I like the hot glue, is it is very forgiving. It's both. It's extremely strong, and it's also very forgiving. This little aqua color I really like, so I'm going to just put that in there like that. So you see here, we're moving right along. Let's see, we did have this little tuck spot, and maybe we will just do the corners, a light little thing. Let's put Marie back in here. I think she just looks really cute with this taupe color here. I think she had the dream. And maybe just some florals brighten her up a little bit. And I love the way that looks. Maybe we'll leave this for writing. This paper is a dream to write on. It's so vintagey and beautiful. And I have this little tassel I just found would be cute hanging off the mirror here. I'm not sure if that's the right color. So we'll put that off to the side. We have this little tuck. We can even add some more things in there if we wanted. Oh, we had our butterfly. Let's do the butterfly. I'm gonna fussy cut that out. And butterflies are so pretty to add to your book. They're like little magical gifts. I love adding butterflies. Some of my books that I've made in the past, there was a butterfly on every page. They just, I don't know. And it's true, like in nature, you know, when you see them, they're just so magical and pretty. I never get tired of looking at butterflies. So now let's figure out where we're gonna put that. Maybe with our sari ribbon, wouldn't those two colors look so pretty together? I mean, they just look beautiful wherever you put them. And I like to just give their wings a little zhuzh. So cute, it would look right on the top of that tag. Maybe we'll put it here. Ooh, yeah, let's put it right there. I don't really want to glue anything on the velvet. But this is where we're going to just turn over the cover and make sure we don't mind if that's hanging out over there. I don't love it. Maybe we can put it like that. Yeah, okay, well, we'll see. Moving right along. So we have that. We have this page is blank. I think that's okay. We have this. Some pages for writing. Now we added this to this side, and I actually did 2 punches. So what would be nice here is we could add this to here. That's kind of fun, huh? It's pretty wild looking to have those berries coming off this already wild page. But I'm not, because I really like this paper the way it is. We could add a little teacup. Teacups are also another magical little ingredient. For me, whenever I add a teacup, it's always just like a, you know, peaceful, stop, take a breather, have a sip of coffee, make sure you love the way everything's going. Yeah, I really love the way, I just love my work. I love sitting here, I love creating, I just love creating. I think I'm just so grateful to have a place to come to at the end of the day, or I really like the way that looks. I just like to be able to come here after a long day and just play with my textiles, my jewelry. I have a bowl of rhinestones here. I have another little dish of sparkly bits. It's just, for me, the best getaway. And I'm just super blessed and grateful. And I don't know how much more I'm gonna do on camera here, but I think so far you guys have been able to really see a nice little window into how I put these books together and how I work. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I did enjoy this very much, and keep a lookout for my I do have an Etsy shop update with a new collection. I think I have 5 books finished coming up that I'll be doing the videos for tomorrow. But I've just been wanting to do this craft with me for a while now, and I'm really just so grateful that I actually was able to do one. So thank you so much. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or feedback. Of course, subscribe to my channel if you want more of these. Let me know. You guys know. But just thank you so much for I don't know, I'm just so grateful. So just thank you all so much. Check the links in the description box, especially for this gorgeous purple kit that I've been playing with today. It's so beautiful to work with these colors. So yeah, have a great day, and thank you so much. Bye bye.